seats. She swim the deepest sea and climb the highest peak. It's a certain climax you are reach. This is merciless, I got to practice what the preach. Then the mercy, because tell you play all the way from Paris. And not tell me how she prayed that Chuck Norris. She no want a man to come and back and kick my piece.
Want a man that is romantic, well.
Tell you play all the way from Rome. And not tell me that she prayed that Sylvester Stallone. She really want a man to make Simone and groan.
Simone, no want a man to come and rock up her home.
So me Simone exercise a train and practice. Get a vote to be last on the golden list. If you fail to fulfill the woman them promise, she a go say you soft or a this you want this. In the time when woman want all them business fixed, and a man a compose like him at double six. Woman a go get mad and say but what is this? Pick him up like this, your Mrs. Well. Woman want the loving so them start get hyper. Say she not request not a Wesley sniper. She want a good lover man that is her type. To turn off the light and make she feel alright. Tonight, candlelight, hey, girl a fly all the way from Paris. And a tell me how she prayed that Chuck Norris. She don't want a man to come and box and kick my piece.
Want a man that is romantic, well.
Girl a fly all the way from Rome. And a tell me that she prayed that Sylvester Stallone. She really want a man to make Simone and groan.
Simone, no want a man to come and rock up her home.
The woman them want the loving and the tender care. Me hear them body call and I shall declare. Me have a lot of woman each and everywhere. Me have them in a single and all in a pair. And when them want the loving, them take claim from here. Man see me tell them and I look and I stare. But tell all of them say love me try come there. Me there, you hear, I say. Tell a fly all the way from Paris. And I tell me how she prayed that Chuck Norris. She no want a man to come and box and kick my piece.
Want a man that is romantic, well.
Tell a fly all the way from Rome. And I tell me that she prayed that Sylvester Stallone. She really want a man to make him out and grown.
Simone, no want a man to come and rock up her home.
Woman that take her up plane that come from Hollywood. I say them want a man we can walk her good. Chopper on the Van Damme and all a Clint Eastwood. Now she want a strong man to pack up the firewood. Me profile like me should, me good well. Man a exercise, man a train and practice. Can't afford to be last on the girl them list. If you fail to fulfill the girl them promise, them a go say you soft or a this you what is. In the time when woman want all them business fixed, and a man a compose like him at double six. Woman a go get mad and say but what is this? Pick him up like this, your Mrs. Well. Girl a fly all the way from Paris. And a tell me how she prayed that Chuck Norris. She no want a man to come and box and kick my piece.
Want a man that is romantic, well.
Woman a fly from Bethlehem and all Egypt. Who not take plane, them all a tape and shit. All a million of them a make a loving trip. Say them want a man to rub down them hip. And from me hear that me start rock up it. Who a know Kim Cheryl, Hibet and Doris. And seal it with a kiss, Mrs. Girl a fly all the way from Paris.
Now we got them holding on in order to stay around in a life therapy imbalance. For it is nature's way until judgment day. Weakness ain't got a chance. Playing strong cause I realize the price still one must pay to keep the big man in paradise. This torment and misery all day. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's heyday. Today we right the ground when we master faith. born, but trouble till he drop. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's day. Today will bite the ground when we must have faith. Down in South Africa, when men with gun power have the natives under protection. The black majority live in poverty, all because they're strong. Black man life is hard for fear. Nature make him a slave. South Africa is a nightmare for callers from cradle to the grave. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's day. Today will bite the ground when the master plays. Today is come to us, nature will somersault, bringing sudden death to this wild place. And only those who remain going to make this scene. Oh, you won't forget it. Sufferers shouldn't worry. Nature taking its course. Tomorrow you may be happy. Just hold on. If you let go, you're lost. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's day. Today will bite the ground when the master plays.
How you work is how you go get paid. You know the lyrics? You know what I mean? All there is talk karma. I had a conversation tonight because last night I wasn't feeling it. And I had a conversation in the gym tonight with a very good friend. Let's call him Anthony. Anthony and I, we talk a lot. We talk a lot about myriad of things. We share information on all manner of things, including politics and the conundrum that is Trinidad and Tobago. And Anthony was telling me that he had a wedding in his family this week. His son got married. And that the crowd was so diverse that they have no racism. And I said to him, explain to me how when election called, all those people who not racist go in and find their corner. How when the bell ring, everybody is getting the section. All them non-racist, when it's election time, vote skin color, vote hair texture, vote mommy and daddy what they vote for. And he said, yes, That is the conundrum of Trinidad and Tobago. I said, David Rudder said it best. David Rudder said, is a perfect description of the conundrum that is Trinidad and Tobago. How we vote is not how we party. How do I fix that? I can't. How do I fix a situation where we are so badly broken that people could hear the solution to every problem in Trinidad and Tobago and still not know how to go? We are a broken people. Trinidad and Tobago's problem is Trinidadians. And I want to ask a question again on this Petrotrin issue, but the crowd ain't reached yet. So I'll play music till the crowd reach. Share the video, please. Share it on your timeline. Let everybody know we're here.
Islands in the sun, islands in the fun. Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trini to the bone, Trini to the bone. When they come to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat me at Trini to the bone, Trini to the bone. Sweet woman parade abundantly, the brethren live for the energy. Some people say God is a Trini, paradise on earth convincingly. God gave us a spirit fiery, but nothing in the world of battery. But look at smart man gone with the money. We still come on, mash up the party. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love this country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love my country. Sweet, sweet TNT. All this sugar can't be good for me. Oh, from Togo to Caroni. Oh, Maraba to San Souci. Oh, from Scarborough to Kokori. Oh, Profile them on Frederick Street. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love this country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love my country. Sweet, sweet TNT. All this sugar can't be good for me. All these years I spent abroad in the color into me home. Trini to the bone, Trini to the bone. Lord, I pray that some sweet day I will no longer have to roll. Trini to the bone, Trini to the bone.
Cricket, important. Fork it. Eyes we. Don't matter. Let me don't talk serious. Let me talk bullshit. If I can't get the numbers up, I ain't doing it. We are a indelibly stupid people. We can be conned and outmaneuvered against our own best interests easily. The media's job is to tell us who to be, what to drive, what to wear, how to feel. Like you're driving a Beamer, you can feel a certain way, and if you feel that certain way, girls supposed to like you because you're feeling that way. It's all bullshit. The country's a joke. It's made up. It's not real. It's not real. This can't be a real country. We're not a real people. We can't be.
The problems we have are plain to see. We prove we can stand the scrutiny. All I know that true democracy. How we vote is not how we party.
How we vote is not how we party. And we took that insult. Because he wasn't trying to insult us. He was trying to hold up a mirror and say, look you. He left. David Rudder gone. David Rudder left this shithole. Because nobody is happy in this shithole. Nobody. No priest, no pundit, no imam, nobody. No Syrian, no African, no Indian, no Chinese, no white man, nobody. The white people get down the islands, the Syrians get all the treasury, the black people get the labas and some sipep, the Indians get rum and carani, and nobody happy. The Chinese people, wherever they get a corner, they open a shop. Nobody happy. This is a bullshit country. And David, brother,
There's no place like home, some people say. Don't come up to leave to make your way. But in your heart, I know their destiny. So come on and pick up the country.
that is not true. And I have spoken to enough people politically for decades to know that you miss what you knew as a child. The first 7 developmental years of your life, there was a study done in an African nation where there are so many people in jail that they were allowed conjugal visits and children were born. And children grew up in prison for the first 7 years of their lives. The world that they knew had a wall. The world that those children knew had gates and doors and keys. And those children, when let out into the real world, would come back and stand up outside the jail. That's where they used to come and stay. It's like in Trinidad and Tobago, we have an orphan system up to 16. You are orphaned, you have nobody. So you stay in a home, you sleep in a dormitory, most of them. So all the boys in bunk beds, because the Jericho Project deals with all of the orphan homes. Over the years, over the decades, we've been working with all of the orphans' homes. I've been to all. And in most cases, all the boys sleep in one dormitory and all the girls sleep in one dormitory. And that becomes your family. That becomes the only family you ever know. One of the most heartbreaking things I ever had to encounter, and listen, those children are so perfect and so beautiful, like children are. Children are the unwarped, undamaged version of us. Life, humanity, society, media, advertising, corporations, greed, all destroy us. Destroy that perfect, beautiful raw material. But talking to this little boy, he had to be no older than 7 or 8. And he gravitated towards me, and he didn't used to talk to people much, and he was to himself, even though we would go and we would do things with all the orphans. In fact, every year, the Jericho Project puts on an event called Kids Funathon in the Savannah, where we bring all the orphans in the country to that event and we spoil them. You never hear about this because the media wouldn't cover this, and we don't want the media to cover it. But anyway, this little boy was telling me that his mommy and his daddy gonna come back for him one day. And he just waited. And I don't know how to unbreak that heart. Just hearing it. I'm a big strong man. I will face down anything. Only know that. And hearing that break my heart. This place, Trinidad and Tobago, 8, 9 years old. He knows the basic things. Wake up, bathe, breakfast, lunch, dinner, chores, whatever they tell you do, you do. But he not making no relationships. And he's stuck in his mind. Mommy and daddy coming back for him one day. But mommy and daddy not coming back. Because daddy killed mommy and then kill himself. But they can't tell this little boy that. And the orphans in Trinidad, our system stops at 16. Stops at 16. On your 16th birthday, you get your last cake and your last party, and you get put out. And you're on your own. There is no transition home. most of the orphans who do not get adopted end up becoming prostitutes, drug addicts, and vagrants. Because this, the third wealthiest nation in the Western Hemisphere, doesn't give a fuck about its people. We keep us, because of our racist, cultic mentality, keep elected shithounds and shit snakes to office who are only there to steal. And we know that. Some of us so insipid in our minds that all we are is black. That is all I am, a black. I is a black man. I is a Indian. So once something looking like me in office, I could still be suffering. Because all them sufferers, suffering, black, Indian, wherever, same suffer. But we stupid. We insipid. We have opportunities, you know. And I'm telling you, because I'm in the Gael, nobody can tell me about politics in Trinidad and Tobago. I see all. I know all. I've been through all. I walk in where angels fear to tread. I walk in where Trinidadians are afraid to be. Because we never want to face who we are. We never want to look in that mirror. All of us. All of us looking for something to bull, something to eat, sleep, burp, shit, wake up, do it over again. And Angostura and Carib understand how unhappy we are. So every ad tells you, forget your life, get drunk, and whine on a bumsy. And Dean Akin took that to the next level and made himself a multi-millionaire, putting feathers and beads on vaginas. Come and take tribe, your new culture. Whine on a bumsy. 6 months out of the year, little girls training in the gym to get everything firm so strange men can grope them. Trinidad and Tobago. This is we. We want to know how things are like this. I said to somebody, everybody walking up to me now like I am some soothsayer. I saw the future. Boy, Phil, everything you say, boy, coming to pass. What's the next step? What's the next step? If I tell you that if you fall off the cliff, you're dead, and you fall off the cliff, you're dead. They have nothing else I could do. Nothing. It's not my job to stop the deviants in the PNM and the UNC from robbing and raping you all. That's not my job. That's your job. But we don't want to hear that. We want to go and see TKR. TKR, my mother's. I went to a match to see what is the bullshit about and saw that TKR is a way to sell Carib and Sunshine snacks. TKR in 2020 is the biggest pack of bullshit I have ever seen. And I see people on my news feed deliberately allowing themselves to be led astray, counting points like it means anything. I sit down and watch a whole match where New Zealand and a Pakistani was Trinidad. But they say, well, that's how Champions League is. But stop bullshitting the people. Tell them what it is. It is a way to sell you shit. That's all it is. We will get you drunk, something. Rally round the West Indies, rally round the TKR, rally round my red ass. Shah Rukh Khan, fly here, all the way to me, how to be a Trini. My red ass. I fed up of this place. I fed up of Trinidad and Tobago. You know why? Because we're stupid. We live in a latrine because we want it. Trinidad could be a country where everybody could be educated and everybody could be rich, well off, properly employed, on a track to whatever life you wanted. But you can't get that in this country because we're stupid. And I don't know, because if you educating people for 19 months and all they're doing is fighting you, at some point, if you are the intelligent man that you say that you are, at some point, won't you admit that you are doing exactly what you say? Doing the same thing night after night, expecting different results. We are a stupid people. And Kid Rowley and Colin Emmert and the Obama stunters that they pay millions of your dollars to come and direct them. How to shut up these people further. how to shake them up further. We have them against the ropes, the pants around their ankles, and we sodomizing them 56 years. What else we could get away with? What else can we get away? We've sodomized the entire nation. What else can we do then? What else? Hear this, right? And if you all don't empty yourselves in the street on Friday, not to support the union, to support decency and lawfulness, because half of Petrotrin deserved to be fired. If you don't know what went wrong in Petrotrin, ask Rowley, ask Manning, ask Kamala. When Rowley called HDC, so, I want houses for them. When he called TMTech, so, I want contract for them. When he called the port, so, he don't make the call himself. His job is to call Stuart Young. Stuart Young's job is to call the bagman. Kamala's job is to call Rudal. Rudal's job is to call a next bagman. And their job is to call Petrotrin and say, I send in these 4 people. Make 2 of them vice presidents and 2 of them directors. Boss, we don't have 17 vice presidents already and 92 directors. You want to keep your job? Boss, send them. They're getting fixed up today. And all of those political appointees. I was talking to a lawyer tonight in the gym. He asked me, how was it allowed to happen? I said, listen, you're an attorney and the state hires you to represent it in court. But you realize that you could charge the state 1 fee and win the case and go away. But before you reach the court, the Prime Minister call you and tell you, I send in 11 people. All of them are lawyers. Put them on this case too. But I only mean put them on the case too. You want the brief? Okay, boss. 12 people show up in court to deal with 1 case. So instead of charging one $3,000 fee, we just charge the state $36,000. 11 of them. You in charge of paper clips, you in charge of photocopies, you in charge of sleeping, you in charge of waking up. And that's the bullshit, and that's an example. Because you've heard with your Injodine, tell me PNM man people, Injodine, the UNC sodomize Indian people in this country. Basdeo Pandey climb up on Indian people's shoulder and screw them all in their ears and up their nose hole. All they think is just PNM people, man. Look at how Indian people living in this country. For a handful that make it somewhere, 95% of them living beat-up lives. Beat-up lives. Don't fool yourself. Stop telling me about PNM, man, and not telling me UNC, man. All of them, man. But this is what you heard for yourself. Let me discuss it again. The chairman of Petrotrin said that Petrotrin made a profit, not debt service, operational profit. Forget for a minute the $12 billion. We will go through the $12 billion in a minute. And what constituted that $12 billion. But for now, the man said that up to the quarter that ended June 30th, that it made an operational profit. Forget the 12 billion, and Kamala can't talk, eh? Kamala can't talk. Because Kamala was Prime Minister for 5 years and did nothing to fix Petrotrin. And don't tell me about Roger with a march, because if I am Prime Minister and Roger march, I send in shoes for him. Boy, march, boy. Let me know if you need Moby. Let me know if you need, you're shutting down the country. We will all wait you out. Shut it down. It's time to run the country like a real country. It's time to break all of these little fiefdoms and paper tigers that Eric Williams set up to defend his racism, but I don't want to get sidetracked. When Espinay said that it made an operational profit, not debt service, move the 12 billion aside. Just operations. You know what he meant? He meant with the 40,000 barrels of oil that we have, because the Prime Minister said that the refinery set up to optimum operation, 140,000 barrels, but we only have 40,000. And that 40,000 barrel situation going on long time now. And even with the 40,000 barrel situation, it made an operational profit. Even with the bloat and the fat and the silos. Somebody sent me something that they're going to read it for you to understand what went on in Petrotrin. But with all of that, with the $20,000 a month janitor they're talking about, manning outside child who mopping floors in Petrotrin, all of it, still, it made a profit. And oil was $49 a barrel. Oil is $76 a barrel now. Somebody want Petrotrin. And if you do not defend it, you will lose it. Because the jackass that you elected and the band of thieves, that is the PNM, that is your government, is looting the country. And if you do not stand up and fire that jackass and the band of thieves, they will loot it. They will make off and laugh. Cole will skin that gargoyle face he have. They ain't riot yet. They can't riot. We could double penetrate them. Triple. If Mr. Espinay said that at $49 a barrel, all other things being equal, the refinery only getting 40,000 barrels, and all of the workers overpaid, and there are more workers than they need. If all of that was the case, and you still made a profit, now that the price of oil is greater, how did it all of a sudden, Franklin Stinkmouth can, how all of a sudden is Petrotrin going to pull down the economy? How all of a sudden? The debt service that we have to service for Petrotrin is World Gas to Liquid, which was approved at $850 million, became $1.3 billion. The ultra-low sulfur diesel plant we purchased that was approved for $708 million became 2.4. A man asked me, how is that done? If you are Malcolm Jones and you go to World Gas to Liquids and you say, all you have a plant, how much for that plant? $850 million. I want to buy it for a country, but hold on. Me and my partners, we're going to set up a company in Ghana. We're going to call it Ghana Technologies, Oil and Petroleum. And they set up that. So Ghana Technologies buy the plant. They don't need money. It's like the joke when you say that you want to become wealthy. You go to the head of the bank and you say, I want my son to be the CEO of the World Bank. The man say, but what's your son's qualifications? He is married to Bill Gates' daughter. No, but he can have the job. And then you go to Bill Gates and say, I'd like my son to marry your daughter. Why? He's the CEO of the World Bank. Okay, no problem. So whatever company, shell as in a shell game, because that's what they do. And if you only open the curtains in Wassa, one set of demon had to run out. Tiantec, Jesus Christ. Every lamppost, every line pulled in this country sodomizes the people. Why we can't get water? Because we're not actually paying Wassa for water. We're paying Wassa to thief money. And every time a government change hand, the records room have to burn down. But stick a pin. When you want to buy World Gas to Liquids, this is how the PNM does business. This is how PNM does business. You buy it from your company that you set up in Ghana, and you sell it to your affiliate in Australia. And it's that affiliate in Australia that the Trinidad and Tobago government is going to deal with. All above board. Paperwork, invoices. But between the actual manufacturer, supplier, and the treasury and the taxpayer, it's passed through two or more fake flip-flop companies set up just to inflate the price. So by the time it leave World Gas Limited at 850 million, it reached Trinidad at 1.3 billion. Extra $550 million tagged on to the price and shared among the boys. The world standard for diesel is ultra low sulfur now. That's the world standard. So we put mag wheels and spinning rims on Petrotrin and the taxpayers pay for it. But they do the same thing. They bought an ultra sulfur diesel plant, ultra low, for 708 million. But by the time it reached Trinidad, it's 2.4 billion. Ask your friends in the PNM, all you jackasses who defending the bullshit that is going to fall on all of you, it's going to fall on you. You're defending it now. Don't say you didn't know. All of you who hearing this, if you're not talking this, will it fall on your children and your grandchildren? Don't say you didn't know. This coming home to roost. An administration building was approved for 192 million, reached 427 million. The upgrade of the fuel catalyst unit, $2.1 billion it cost. By that point, they didn't have to bother trying to pretend that they have a starting price. By then, Manning was drunk and bullying everybody. The CCR platforming unit was 665 million, became 1.59 billion. By then, Calder Hart and crew realized that they could tell you cost overruns. Malcolm Jones, Ken Julian, all of them. Conrad Enel was the Minister of Finance. Ask him. Ask Wendell Motley. Ask these guys. Ask Teixeira. Karen Nunes Teixeira. You see, all of these band of co-conspirators, you need a commission of inquiry and bring each of those government ministers, former ministers and MPs, and grill them and have real law enforcement standing by the side with silver bracelets. Because as you get catch, lock your ass up. But you see, we can't do that because we're red and ready. And we yellow and unsteady. So to fix Trinidad, you have to make a party, and to make the party, you say, you're in politics, you're a politician. But what they realize, halfway into Manning's term, that you could say cost overrun and move the Scarborough Hospital from 208 million to 1.2 billion. And nobody will say boo. So Taruba was 163 million, 1.2 billion. Napa Sapa Tapa, 400, 300, 500 million, 1.5 billion. And it didn't matter. At a point, Colm Imbert, Keith Rowley, Patrick Manning authorized a study of a rapid rail. And this study cost us $567 million. Go and ask the people who work Hilton how much money we spend on Hilton. Or so we say. We spent money that could have built 3 Hilton. We don't want to care. You don't care. Not your money, no problem. You think so? Every tax and every fine and every charge that falls on this country falls on you. Falls on your children. Limits your quality of life. Today, I'm talking to a young lady. She said, I'm not into politics at all. I get fed up telling people, you don't have to be into politics. Politics into you. You will never own a home. You will never have a proper job. You will catch your ass and settle for a shit snake man who himself can't get ahead in life because politics has eaten up your future. So a select few could live large and live high. The alkalization plant was 586 million. It became 1.8 billion. The offsite and utilities program was 189 million and it became 1.7 billion. Totaling a debt of 12.43 billion. Coincidentally, the debt that is leaning on Petrotrin, almost to the dollar, what Malcolm Jones and Ken Julian and the rest of the band from the Manning and Keith Rowley was there. Rowley was right there, eating cabinet food, drinking cabinet wine, Colin Imbert. If Manning was whining, Colin was whining back. All of them was there. The question I want to ask Trinidad and Tobago tonight is, if Espinay said that it could make a profit, as is, even if you don't fix it and fire all of those political appointees that Pandey and Manning and Kamala and Rowley put there. Because you see, when I tell Trinidadians that I will balance the budget in Trinidad and Tobago by cutting half the budget out and giving that to the people that was formerly being stolen by political operatives, I will fire half of the employees in every state and enterprise, if not more. We are overstaffed and they are overpaid. It's a fact. But that is no justification to sell our state enterprise. And I have a problem with that. Because they have a fat cat somewhere sitting down, waiting, salivating, rubbing his hands together. Because he's about to get the entire economic engine of Trinidad and Tobago put in his hands. Forget the rest of the companies, you know. Once you own Petrotrin, you see, we need gas and we need oil, engine oil, all kind of engine oil. We need diesel and we need aviation fuel. You see those things? Those things are more expensive than the bulk oil they come from. Because to get them out of the bulk oil, you have to refine them through an expensive process. And Franklin Kahn and Keith Rowley and Colin Imbert are conning the natives into believing that regardless of the price of oil, we could sell all of our oil and then import all of the gas and diesel and fuel that we need cheaper. Now, how is that possible? How would that be possible when refined products are more expensive than bulk oil? How is that possible? How? And we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, are playing foolish political games while this is about to fall on this nation like a ton of bricks. And if we do not put aside all of the distraction, all of the carnival, all of the 2020, all of the bullshit, stop it now. See your children, see yourself, see your future, see the fact that the country will become a socialist state with everybody dependent on a private sector owner or the government, like Venezuela is. That's where we're going. And the government does not have the authority to do it unless you stay silent. Unless you stay silent. Now, like a jackass, Friday morning, 10 o'clock, I walked it today and filmed the walk. Like a total jackass, fighting for people who are either so stupid that they don't see what's about to befall them, who are so ignorant that they are incapable of understanding basic broken down English, that this is what is being done to you, or so lazy and irresponsible with their democracy that they will sit down and let it happen. I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago something. There's a dot in the sea. And when I hate injustice, and when I hate those sons of bitches that live large in Trinidad and Tobago on stolen goods, you see, all you're quick to put up pictures of Berkey Burke and Spanish and all of them with their gold hanging around. Only quick to put up that and laugh at them. But when the real bandits show you the 20 cars in the garage, you're going, oh, good, nice, eh? Because you're jackasses. Because you're not even capable of seeing and understanding that Berkey Burke and Spanish, for all that is wrong with that type of lifestyle, is nothing. It is a pimple on the fetid ass of Trinidad and Tobago. The real crime is the business community and their corrupt friends in politics who, together with an unethical professional class, lawyers and accountants, have formed a criminal conspiracy that has been running for 56 years. PNM and UNC are two sides of the same criminal, corrupt coin, are two cancers that have eaten this country to the bone. We are barely standing. And if you could get an economist to explain to you how it was possible for Espinay, the chairman of Petrotrin, to say at $49 a barrel, all things being as they are, Petrotrin made a profit. How is that possible? And now at $76.25, we can. What kind of PNM logic is that? The $12.43 billion, I say, send the police to arrest Ken Julian. Interrogate Conrad Enel. Interrogate Karen Nunes Teixeira. Bring the entire board of Petrotrin now and then to answer questions. Bring forensic accountants to determine and follow that money. Because you see that shell game I just tell you? There are people in this world trained that will follow that money to every corrupt payment until it reach the doors of the international companies, British Petroleum, Shell, World GTL. When it reached those companies, when the boat purchase reached back to Austal in Australia, their law enforcement, not like Trinidad and Tobago. Gutierrez and the rest of them, who was in conspiracy with Ish and Steve and Kwaitang and the rest of the band that robbed Trinidad and Tobago with Piaco, went to jail. They confessed. They admitted what they did. That is why Ish fought so hard not to get extradited. In Trinidad and Tobago, you could do what you like in this justice system, but they had made up Ishmael already for him. And he can't get on a plane for nothing. But you see, the people asking me, why the opposition so quiet? Why Kamala and them so mute? And I said to them, because you don't know what the PNM know about what they did when they were in office. You see, $60 billion budgets is theft. Trinidad could operate easily $30 billion. At $30 billion, we wealthy. $30 billion is a lot of money. And this is a dot in the sea. We are overstaffed with people in positions they are not qualified for, drawing massive salaries beyond what the job is worth, and we do not need them. And they are all political operatives. So when my friends in my party tell me the PNM is a machine, the PNM is not a machine. The same woman who get to control the school feeding program under Rowley, control the school feeding program under Manning. And they get into office and they say, right, where we left off. And that's what the UNC waiting to do. For all the moral posturing bullshit that coming out of them, Devon Maraj and NLCB. Ask Devon to answer for NLCB. He's the chairman. He knows what goes on in the National Lotteries Control Board. Trinidad and Tobago has just the National Lotteries Control Board. If you run a proper inquiry into the National Lotteries, I know a counselor, a PNM counselor named Simon Dinobriga, who had a company, he, Ryan Shepherd, Dane Harford, all of them friends of mine, people I went to school with, created a company to do some environmental bullshit, and was getting $55,000 from the National Lotteries Control Board to maintain a triangle of grass by Crystal Stream Church. And he, Simon de Nobrega, Sayo, getting fat the PNM in office. He getting fat eating. The same Simon used to be all over the place, lambasting Kamala. And all of these people who talk, you see, when you ask me why I don't want anything to do with any of those parties or any of those people who have anything to do with those parties, it is because you have to shred every ounce of integrity that you have before you could enter government under the PNM or the UNC. And that's the truth. I have a friend after this video. He's a UNC organizer. He's going to call me and say, boy, what you doing? I haven't lined up. We're linking you up. We're going to line you up properly. I have somebody else calling me and telling me, you know the PNM still want to talk to you, eh? And I have jackasses who join the PEP that are incapable of understanding the mission we face or are themselves corrupt and are waiting to see my friend who jump out herself, because I know she flirting with the UNC, but when she was in the PEP, and I have all of that waiting, because at some point you're going to defend your own life. At some point you are going to defend your track record. At some point, you are going to have to defend what you did with the gifts that you got in life. Those were orphans. Could have been me. Could have been you. Could have been any of us. Life is strange. Some people get a good hand. Some people get a challenge. And I think that the mission is, when you get a good hand, to seek out all of those who have been given a bad hand and raise them up somehow. And I think that's the mission. Because I'm too bright to be a crook. I am too gifted to want to take my talents to rob the undereducated, the uninitiated, the feeble-minded. We have a country whose education system is designed to make blockheads of our people. All the children who go in all of those secondary schools, yes, there are weeds that grow out of concrete. Yes, there are some that find a way, God alone knows how, to grasp and hold on to a life preserver. But the vast majority who end up in the Eric Williams secondary school system in Trinidad and Tobago, life over. The life over. And like those orphans, the chances of them having anything like a life outside of corporate sponsored, government imposed slavery is slim to none. You don't need to pay a man to whip people to work, when all you have to do is make the value of the dollar in their pocket so weak and the ability to get one so hard that they will whip themselves for you. Debt and cost of living enslaves all of our people. We do not have to have such a difficult life. My last post on Facebook before this video was supposed to be the name of this video. We are not okay. We're not. But I had to ask, the people who commit the crimes against the voters are voted into office by the voters. I tell people all the time, I talk this plain for a reason. I want you to see that this is a bullshit-free zone. I want my friends who involved in any kind of wrongdoing to give me a wide berth, to know. I live in a country where it is easier to take me to court for defamation. The statute is so ridiculous. It is impossible for me. The whistleblower protection that Keith Rowley promised was a lie. Another lie from that double-tongued deceiver, that spawn of Satan, king of the infidels. Keep Christopher Mugabe Sabga Rowley, that stunting son of a bitch, your jackass of a prime minister. Another lie. Another lie. But I want to tell you, the country that you want is possible. It's so easy. And I know what I said. I said to my friend Anthony, there's a joke. The Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, and an honest politician drowning. Who do you save? And the answer is none. All are a figment of your imagination. In Trinidad and Tobago, that's our reality. That's our truth. So I don't want to blame the people for not trusting politicians. But what the hell you're going to get? What is going to fix it? Is politics spoil it? Is politics have to fix it? And it can't get worse. You're about to go into total enslavement and debt forever. It really cannot get worse. This is it. The shit is about to meet the fan. It can't, I mean, going down from here is worse. But it's not like there's anything left to steal. The same thing they done with Petrotrin. Know all those numbers that you're hearing coming out of Petrotrin. Scratch the surface of WASA. Scratch TNTech. Scratch NIPDEC. Scratch every regional corporation. Scratch every special purpose company, EMBD, EFCL. If you ran a commission of inquiry only into the special purpose companies, you will have to jail a large portion of Trinidad's business community. Many well-known lawyers, accounting firms. What Lawrence Dupre and his band got away with because of PricewaterhouseCoopers. PricewaterhouseCoopers built a new building in town. The mission ahead of us is not an easy one. I do not know if we're intelligent enough to even understand. You ever heard the saying? They say, he's so stupid, he don't even know how to come in out of the rain. I wonder if that is our situation. There are people who tell me, Philip, you are having a conversation with people who are incapable of understanding what you are saying. And I do not know if that is true. But I have bet a large part of my life on it being a lie. I don't know. With each passing day, watching the jackasses come on social media and defend the fuckery. They up to their neck in shit. They living with flies landing on the child eyeball. They want doctors, one medical emergency away from finding out that there is nothing. They are one law enforcement emergency from finding out that there is nothing for them. There is one SCA exam. Go in the prestige schools and watch the makeup of the children and tell me if the message is not that black people and Indian people are stupid. Either that, or it takes money and connections to get into those schools. It's one of the two. And I don't care who you are and how you feel about that statement, but let's defend it. Let's discuss it. Because I don't understand to this day how the mummies and the daddies who are dropping their children to Fatima are not worried about the children in Mokorepo. Because at some point, those mummies and daddies will shuffle off this mortal coil, and their children will have opportunities at material gain, and the children from Mucurapo left with nothing but government boots and CPEP and URP may take it upon themselves to prey on your Fatima child. Why are you not concerned to the point where you are saying, why don't we twin Fatima with Mucurapo? Let's make, instead of 10,000 children every year doing well in Mucurapo, across that street, 20 feet from each other, why we don't make it 20,000? Why aren't the mummies and daddies, instead of blaming the irresponsible, drug-smoking, wherever you want to call the other children mother and father, you just hear all you just vent, all your spleen, all you forget, all you get some luck and some opportunities and a twist of life that gave you, not that, this, you have this. And instead of worrying about the conditions other people live in, you cuss them and you kick them for it, no problem. But it has a follow-on, it has a result. It brings a future that you as mommy and daddy should be intelligent enough to know that you're looking out for your child in the well-pressed Fatima uniform. St. Mary's, twin St. Mary's. Twin St. Mary's with another failing secondary school. Twin St. Joseph's Convent with a failing secondary school. Twin Holy Name Convent. No, it will not pull all down. What it will do is it will raise all up. The science is there. Go and ask Finland. Finland doesn't have a segregation exam. Finland doesn't separate fish from fowl. In fact, the Finland model, which is head and shoulders above any other education model in the world, proves that letting the children grow together from 5 to 15 sets all of them up for a better, more successful life. But we are jackasses in this country. We want to bling our vaginas. That's what we want. We want to say, my house nicer, my car nicer, my child in a better school, because I am an irresponsible, ego-driven jackass. And I am so insecure that I do not understand that I am setting my child up for a life of fear. Because if you're going to fly the child out anyway, it don't need Fatima. Doesn't matter. Wherever you go to live, they don't want to hear about Fatima and St. Mary's and presentation. They don't care about that. So why waste it? Why aren't we the people of Trinidad and Tobago? My friend in Glencoe, who is posting every day about the water situation in Glencoe, was silent for decades when other people had dry taps. Why aren't we all standing for each other in this postage stamp dot that don't qualify as a county or a borough in a developed nation? 1.4 million people is a little bit of people. It is easily managed. There are 8 times as many people in New York City, and they don't have half the problems we have. Too many of our people have had to leave this country out of disgust. Naipaul, Rudder, I mean, look at them. They only come back if they get a chance. I mean, Lara and Dwight York, Latta P, look at them fellas, watch them. We have world-class artists, sportsmen, entertainers. All you who boo Olatunji know how to swallow and talk about Ola. All of y'all who knew Anya Ayangchi take iron. She was in threesome. All you call the girl porn star. And she win. What's the name of the show? Project Runway. She's your friend then. I remember when that girl, that Jamaican girl, Chin, what's her first name? Tell me. She sing a popular song. And her sister's a reggae singer too. Anyway, she won one of those Voice X Factor shows. And when she won, when Tessanne won, she said, hopefully now the DJs in my country will be able to locate my record in the studios and play it. And that insult cut to the core. But it's a fact. And we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we just like that. Because the same song, Ola Wow, Simon Cowell-Witt, and his panel, we boo. We don't know who we are, what we're supposed to be. We take chain up and bullshit. We want to be anything else but ourselves. Every one of us want to be white and have good hair. We want to get into clubs that don't want us. That purple rope with the little clip on the end, that's the biggest chain up for Chinese. Then you get past that purple rope, you're inside. And I remember somebody said, I would never join any club that would have me as a member. That is self-respect. Can't bullshit me. Keep your purple rope. You have nothing that I need, and you're not more exclusive than me. In fact, I have a purple rope all around me, and the only person who gets in this club is me. That is ultra VIP. Trinidad and Tobago, Friday morning, this Friday here, the alarm rings. We have a chance to stand up and say, Mr. Prime Minister, you cannot sell Petrotrin. If you try to sell Petrotrin, we will shut the country down. We will shut it down and fire you and reverse any deals you make. Stop it. You have the opportunity to do that and to say that. Don't take chain up, don't take... And if you are already sitting on a government job or the beneficiary of 30 pieces of silver disguised as something else. You ever watch how the staff in B-Mobile is moved? You ever watch it? Can't get fired. Most of them are political appointees. You know somebody, or you're sleeping with somebody, or you know somebody who's sleeping with somebody to get a job. They're paying you well, and you're cocky. Like most public servants. So I'm not marching for the OWTU. I want a manpower audit. I want a proper audit of Petrotrin. I want to know why $19 a barrel is the world standard to refine and ours is $49. I want that. So I want Roger to hear me. I'm not marching for Roger. I'm marching for Trinidad and Tobago. I'm marching for Petrotrin, which is my company. I own shares in that. My children, my family own shares in that Petrotrin company. And you dare not sell it. If I have to march alone, I march in Friday morning, 11 o'clock, to the Prime Minister's office. You're invited to put aside any and all distractions. Unless your ass is on fire or you're in hospital about to be operated on, stop what you're doing. Stop and come and join us. If you're in an essential service, stay doing your essential service. The rest of us will march. As citizens in a democracy, and we will thank you for doing your service. Keep the country running while we go and focus on the democracy. We meet at 19 Stanmore Avenue at 10 o'clock. I always wonder, if we prove that we are incapable of standing up for ourselves, if we prove that racist, cultist politics is what we are, if we prove that we're so stupid to not be able to care, that we don't care how it goes, if we prove that, then I would go silent. And I wonder, what would happen after that? What would happen after that? What? Who speaks then? What do we do then?
If you can look as far as I see, within this great land we call TNT, there's birds and bees, rivers and seas, pretty woman bringing man to their knees. Treasures of this blessed land we always neglect like ISO and pan. I find it so strange the way we arrange. Still this nation don't know how to change. Cause some change it might just mean a new car. Change could mean less than $1. To most change have this nice scent we usually get from the government. You see, change is something we always say, but every time we change things remain the same way. Things keep getting worse and worse, so this is what I propose. Let's change the change for a better nation. Change the change for all foundations. Change the change so that we could say that this nation came from quite down there. I say change the change within the school systems. Stop changing ministers and change what we teach them. But things won't change despite all we do if change doesn't start with you. Is murders, killings galore, so much gunmen fighting needless war. Can't tell you stay, can't tell you go, but this still the land we used to know. Homeless, every corner you meet, and they complimented by our dirty streets. Then we wonder why, in our sister eye, why they don't let Trinis to come and spend time. When you see change is much more than paving a whole road, and change is greater than fixing a lamp pole. Change is about the whole nation and how we are portrayed when the party done. Who set these standards in my TNT? I really wish somebody here could tell me. It's just the same thing again and again, like we leaders don't use their brain. So change the change within our country. Change the change so the whole world could see. Change the change for a better future, so we don't have to depend on our next mayor. Say change the change within the society, otherwise we'll have a bandit factory. But things won't change despite all we do if change doesn't start with you. In our youth, we leave all the weight, cause in most leaders, we done a lost faith. They full of such greed. Oh Father, I plead, please Lord have some mercy on their seeds. Cause the youth are trying their best, but they're born in this place of lies and commerce. So eventually, when things get heavy, chances are they might turn out just like we. But you see, change could put an end to all this foolishness ahead. Could break this chain link of sadness. Change could help our leaders to grow and start preparing youths for tomorrow. Don't see change as something timely and start seeing change as your duty. To stop them from hurting one day is we had to point the way. So change the change for better transparency. Change the change for better economy. Change the change so no man one day will take we money and just fly away. I say for young Calypsonians, and stop saying culture is in good hands. If change doesn't start with you,
I want you to listen to this. It was written by Alicia Edwards. And she wrote, management is our problem at every level. It has been instructive to see the range of responses to the announced closure of Petrotrin. While I will wait to post my views on that decision, I must make a few pertinent general observations about the way we sabotage our chances at efficiency. No state enterprise suddenly becomes bloated with workers. Government ministers are notorious for calling and instructing HR to hire X to do Y, with no regard for manpower needs. Lots of new hires are unqualified for the work that they are to do. Over time, Petrotrin, TSTT, THA, and every state-owned entity have become overstaffed. So low productivity is no surprise. If you only need 3 people to do a job, but you hire 7, a few warm bodies will have nothing to do but show up whenever. More staff, necessary or surplus, creates a demand for larger office spaces, more consumerables, which adds to an already large wage bill. With limited funding, very little progress can happen because we are diverting development funds to pay people who have no work to do. State-appointed boards are operated as giant puppet shows. Some boards are packed with undeserving political cronies, unfit for the portfolio they hold. But even qualified board members are asked to check their common sense and professional training at the door to do the bidding of their line minister, whose agenda may not be national development and progress. So undeserving contracts are awarded, shoddy works gets approved, and conflict of interest meets greed with astoundingly bad results. Board members actually see trouble ahead based on existing patterns of income and expenditure, but their suggestions to trim the fat and clean the stables are usually ignored because it's not politically expedient to so. Little to do. Management theory states that in a stable environment, where job duties are predictable and repetitive, efficient processes and well-trained staff can function with few supervisory levels. But we create silos filled with senior vice presidents, senior managers, senior officers, junior officers. The result, people being paid too much with too little to do except to play political games. No emphasis on modernizing and updating processes in the face of new technologies. Accounting, human resources, purchasing, inventory, marketing, and internal audit departments in private companies are usually small because software does all the hard work and processes are streamlined. In state-owned entities, just a lot of warm bodies using an inefficient and outdated manual system. Trade unions run themselves as zero-sum games. More workers mean more union dues for them to spend. Union leaders emerge not because they are the best qualified, but because they are the loudest bullies. Unions do nothing to impress on members the need to work to create value for the entity that employs them. Unions fight for permanent status for workers, doing job duties that are temporary, missing the changing nature of our work environment. I applaud all efforts to improve the way we do business in this place. But wholesale closure of state entities because they have become loss-making concerns cannot only happen where funds are tight. If our prime ministers, government ministers, board members, senior public officers and trade union leaders and the ordinary citizen do not admit their roles in creating the messes we have, nothing will change when the dollars start flowing again without any sense. In hard times, there is not only hardships, but lessons for improvement. In every previous recession, we have missed the lesson. Let us not miss the lesson waiting for us in this season. He who does not get the lesson for the first time around will have the same experience over and over again until he gets the lesson. Brilliantly said. Brilliantly said.
Tell me what I'm fighting for. What I'm killing for. We don't need no more of that. Tell them wicked people. Fire go Monday. Fire go Monday. Oh God, I said this is the year for love. dress and smile. Say he's a madman. Another young boy fall. You so careless that night. Oh, you's a bad man. Bad man is a man who is keeping the woman and protect the young ones by any means, lad. You ain't no bad man, boy, nah. You ain't no bad man. I ain't bad man just make his own decisions. You don't need anyone, the only means, lad. You ain't no bad man, boy, nah. You ain't no bad man. So, sit down, rock back. Tell them I don't need no strap to defend my people. I'm wicked and evil. So, sit down, rock back. Big man, look for a walk. You're too damn evil. If they distress my people, then fire go burn them. Fire go burn them. Oh, Lord, I said this is the air for love. Fire go burn them. Fire go burn them. Feeling all even bad at all. Tell me what they're fighting for. Killing for them. We don't need no war. They don't need. So tell me what they're fighting for. Killing for them. We don't need no war. I said we don't want no war. I bad man to go and raping woman, influencing young ones to and more now. He ain't no bad man.
Do you know that if you go on Google right now and type the word Rowleyism, R-O-W-L-E-Y-I-S-M, I kid you not, I did not make this up. If you go on Google and type the word Rowleyism, the definition of Rowleyism is a false equivalency that serves a dishonest political purpose. I swear, who the gods would destroy, they first make mad. The definition of Rowleyism was available to us. A false equivalency that serves a dishonest political purpose. How on point is that? How on point? Friday morning at 10 o'clock, I and others will be at 19 Stanmore Avenue. Today, I made a video and I walked the route to show you every direction how to find where 19 Stanmore Avenue is. I showed you what the building looks like. I told you can't find Stanmore Avenue, find BP, find TGI Fridays, meet us on the Savannah. We come in on the Savannah for 11 o'clock and we walk into the Prime Minister's office. It should be a sea of people if this is a real country. But I don't know. And again, I will keep my word and I will walk alone if it is just me. When people tell me, Phil, everything you predict come to pass, I don't feel good, you know. There is no pleasure in saying, I told you so. I feel like a failure, like I've wasted more than a decade of my life. But this Friday, we are at 19 Stanmore Avenue, 4 buildings down from the Savannah, in the vicinity of the BP Amoco building, where TGI Fridays is, close to Cipriani Boulevard, where Republic Bank Credit Card Center is, or Petrotrin Sports Club on the top of Cipriani Boulevard, ironically. And so you could meet us at 19 Stanmore Avenue, wear comfortable shoes, put on a hat, make your sign. What are you fed up with? The bullshit education, the bullshit healthcare, the plundering being meted out to the citizens by the banking cartel, the rape of the treasury by the contractocracy of corporate Trinidad and Tobago, the lawyers, the accountants, and the deviant politicians. What are you pissed about? Make your sign. It's about time. Come out. Come out. Make your sign and walk with us. This is our right. This is probably our last free time as people in Trinidad and Tobago. These governments are pushing us a little further every time. Look at it. Nothing got better. Nothing. From Williams to Chambers to Robinson to Manning to Pandey to Manning to Kamla to Rowley, nothing ever gets better. It always gets worse. We always get poorer. Life always gets harder. Things always get shittier in Trinidad and Tobago. No version of the PNM and the UNC has ever been of benefit to all the people of the country. A handful of racists and sycophants may have benefited, but that's not how you run a country. It is time that we did better. We are meeting at 10 o'clock, 19 Stanmore Avenue. I am expecting after this video to see a sea of posts on Facebook that say, I am meeting the PEP at 19 Stanmore Avenue on Friday morning at 10 o'clock to march to the Prime Minister's office. I expect to see that all over Facebook. Tag me when you post it. Tag me. There's a post that we have. It's on my wall. It says, why we walk in. I'll post it again. In fact, I'll find it right now. And I'll post it again. And you could use that. You could use that. I had to share something else this morning. I would like to read that to you before I find this and post it. For those of you who are being intimidated by these shit snake ministers like Garcia and Marley McDonald, hear this, A word of warning to the government ministers speaking without facts. You see, knowledge? Knowledge is freaking power. Let's educate, inform, and empower the people of this country. Let us move man to man, woman to woman, child to child, and emancipate and liberate them. Let us make a people so set on fire with patriotism and knowledge that bullshit artists can't try to come up in our politics again. Neither the government nor any minister of government nor any administrator directed by a minister of government can legally deduct a cent from any public officer or contract employee in the public service without due process. Only a court of law can fine or jail anyone, including a worker or public officer. Even if the government succeeds in getting the police to charge workers or other public officers for what they deem illegal industrial action, they will have to prove that each and every worker or public officer did in fact engage in industrial action and provide proper evidence to prove that case in a court of law. Further, only as a result of disciplinary action can any penalty, including deduction of pay, be imposed on any public officer by a service commission as a result of disciplinary proceedings in accordance with the Public Service Commission's regulations. No public officer can legally suffer any deduction from their pay without a disciplinary process. These threats of no pay to public officers are illegal. They amount to a terror campaign of intimidation by the government against public employees and must be rubbished. If carried out, will only succeed in costing the government large sums in compensation to the same public employees who will surely take legal action against government for these unwarranted, unprovoked, and unconstitutional attacks against them. All the government will accomplish is to further clog an already overburdened system with matters almost impossible to prove. Not hearsay, not feeling, not how it look. Prove, and will make themselves appear further incompetent at managing the affairs of the state. Do not be threatened or alarmed by ministerial rubber talk. If you are employed in any state position or employment deemed an essential service, then you have a duty and a responsibility under law to remain at your post to keep the ship of state sailing smoothly, and we the people will thank you for your service. All others, you have a constitutional right to protest the mismanagement of this country by this failed administration. If you feel like joining in any lawful protest, you are free to do so. Tell you something. You hired those sons of bitches with your vote, and it is your right under natural justice to be able to fire them. My first post this morning said, the country you want won't happen without your participation. Water won't magically appear in your taps. Your children's education won't suddenly become functional. Healthcare won't just start to work. Corruption won't cease. The banks won't on their own decide to limit fees and pay interest on your deposits. Food production to drive the price of food down won't become a government priority until you insist. It is the nature of government to respond to public pressure. Get involved. We also have to share today that we found out yesterday that my personal profile, the followers crossed 30,000 people. Combined with the 19,000 people in Stand Up TNT and the 19,000 people in the Philip Alexander fan page, I think we're doing well. The post that we are sharing, and I'm giving all of you, I am posting it as the top post on my Facebook. I will post it in this live feed right now, the column the thread that you're reading, so you can't miss it. And I would like all of you, each and every one of you, no matter where you're based in the world, to copy and paste this as your status on your profile and share it in as many places as you can. Tag me, tag everybody. When you put up the post, if you want to go a step further, tag 99 friends. You're allowed 99 tags. Let's get the word out. Let's bypass the corrupt and criminal media that is hiding the people's chances of a better country. Let's get together, one people under one flag. Friday morning, 10 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, I will be on 104.7 at 11 o'clock with Robert Amar. We'll be discussing this. But Friday morning at 10 o'clock. Friday morning, 10 o'clock, 19 Stanmore Avenue, or you could meet us on the Savannah at the top of Stanmore or Victoria or Cipriani Boulevard. Be there for 10 o'clock and let us walk together as one people under one flag and demand proper representation, or that the Prime Minister fires himself and his band of incompetence.
If it is that who you're voting, ready or not out. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the proven to be your equal amount. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the time is now that
Change must come about, just as how you vote them in,
vote them out.
fire them.
Register and vote them out. If they can see, vote them out. Save your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total scorn and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out of power, dominate their reign. Let's put our country together again.
Unipet is a private enterprise and owes Petrotrin $462 million. When you see stunting politicians like your jackass Prime Minister who went to open Furnace parking lot, you see the close, cozy relationship between these politicians and business interests. How the hell is Unipet, which is a private enterprise, owing Petrotrin $500 million US? How is that possible? Who is sleeping on the wheel? Who taking bribe? This is the corruption we're talking about. management and dysfunction and promising your roads.
And giving bottles. If they are the reason why the economy would sprout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the passing laws that them alone can flout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the building access,
East, west, north and south.
the same way you vote them in. Vote them out. Register and vote them out. Totally vote them out. Stick your finger and vote them out. Rescue the country. Vote them out. Vote them out with tempo. They happy in vain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out with calypso and joyous refrain. Let's put our country together again. If their policy is a fallacy, bureaucracy, a catastrophe, if they cannot work and you see it so, then your only hope is for them to go. If it is fabrication, these statements that they spout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is a frustration,
Just make you want to shout when you're voting.
vote them out. Vote them out.
Before they just use out, thief out, sell out, and mix out. Make me feel
Vote them in. Vote them out. Register and vote them out. All of them. Vote them out. Stick your finger and vote them out.
them and the system.
Vote them out. Vote them out in Scarborough and in Port Spain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out in Komuto and in Narrowland.
All my overseas peppers, all my overseas followers. If I have 30,000 followers, could I get 30,000 people Friday morning? Could you send your friends and family if you're based overseas? If you're crippled and you can't come with a wheelchair, I promise you I will push every wheelchair. Come in whatever your condition is. We have cars, we have vehicles, we'll do a motorcade alongside the march. Come and join us. I would really love people to stop and think what this country could be in a short space of time if we do something about it and if we don't.
Let's put our country together again.
Friday, October 19th, 2012. Opposition leader Dr. Keith Rowley is advising citizens to either shut down their workplaces or work for half the day on November 2nd and take to the streets of Port of Spain at noon to demand good governance. He said so at a public meeting of the People's National Movement held opposite the Starlight Shopping Plaza in Diego Martin on Thursday night. When the PNM held a second roundtable meeting of trade unions and non-governmental organizations, the group decided to engage in a massive demonstration through the streets of Port of Spain to demand the immediate removal of Jack Warner and Annan Ramlogan. Rowley said organizers of this event would be a major protest as thousands of people were expected to take part. But on Friday, October 9th, 19th, 2012, opposition leader Dr. Keith Rowley is advising citizens to either shut down their workplaces or work for half day on November 2nd and take to the streets of Port of Spain at noon and demand good governance. Out of the mouth of that jacket.
People must come first. Citizens by right. None of we are worse. Yellow, black or white. Food, shelter and clothes. A garden that grows. And one door for each. If it is that injustice is what they always show. When you're voting, vote them wrong. Vote them wrong. If it is that avarice is all they seem to, vote them wrong. Vote them wrong. If it is that politics, it's just a puppet show. When elections day come, all bandits must go. All 41 register and vote them wrong. If they can see, vote them wrong. Say no finger and vote them wrong. Show them no mercy, vote them wrong. Vote them out with total scum and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out of power, terminate the reign. Let's put our country together again. I visited Parliament Chamber, witness an orchestra, a bang, 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 of only politicians there. I visited Parliament Chamber, witness an orchestra, a bang, 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 of only politicians there. Rated their performance and style, talent and endurance, a bang, 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 of parliamentarians. Politics that encourage hate, making good forces screaming, bridges replaced by gates. Nurturing racism, prejudice and
What is called say you want?
Just hold them and rock it. 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 Just hold them and rock it. 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 No, we don't business. No, we don't business. Put it on like you don't business. Put it on like you don't business. Free up like you don't business. Free up like you don't business. No, we don't business. No, we don't business.
When you're sharing the post about Friday morning, don't share it, copy and paste it. We want it to go viral. The post is at the top of my page. It's also in this feed. I wonder if I can share it again in the feed in case you missed it. We want it to go viral so that nobody could say they did not know. Share it. Make sure you are sharing it. You are pasting it on your thread. Make sure that the privacy settings is set to public. Let's get the word out.
And you will see how we go party.
To the full extreme, I like it all. We never see over the treasury. But on go, we jamming still, we jamming still. The economy to follow, we jamming still, we jamming. Just hold them and rock it, hold them and rock it, hold them and rock it, hold them and rock it. Just hold them and rock it. 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 No, we don't business. No, we don't business. Put it on like you don't business. Put it on like you don't business. Free up like you don't business. Free up like you don't business. No, we don't business. No, we don't business. No, we don't business. 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 We don't business. No, we don't.
In April, and I raised it again by 15%. And I came back again just a few weeks ago and raised it by another 15%. They haven't rioted yet. So I might raise it by another 15%.
No business, we don't business, no, we don't business, we don't business, no, we don't business, we don't business, no, we don't business, we don't business. So that point for the youth, that point for the youth, so that point for the yard, that point for the yard, that point for the youth, that point for the youth, that point for the yard, that point for the yard, so that point, that point, that point, that point, that point, that point,
By 15%. I then realized that was not enough. I came back again in April and I raised it again by 15%. And I came back again just a few weeks ago and raised it by another 15%. They haven't rioted yet. So I might raise it by another 15% in April of next year.
You hear that son of a bitch laugh at us? You
The
hear
price
that?
of fuel by 15%. I then realized that was not enough. I
They
came back again in
rioted.
April and I raised it again by 15%.
That's the
And I came
standard.
back again just a few weeks ago and raised it by another 15%. They haven't rioted yet. So I might raise it by another 15%. April of next
we
year.
jamming still, we jamming still. We building, we follow, we jamming still, we jamming. Just hold them and rock it, hold them and rock it.
Tell them call.
Hold them and rock it, hold them and rock it. Just hold them and rock it, hold them and rock it, hold them and rock it, hold them and rock it. No, we don't business. No, we don't business. Put it on like you don't business. Put it on like you don't business. Free up like you don't business. Free up like you don't business. No, we don't business. No, we don't business.
When you share the post about the Friday morning march, tag me. I'd like to share yours. Let us get it viral all over Facebook. It's on the live feed. It's on the top of my wall. I am asking my foreign-based supporters and followers, the foreign-based peppers, share it and tag all your family and friends in Trinidad and Tobago. Let's get the word out tonight so nobody can say they don't know. We're meeting 19 Stanmore Avenue, Friday morning, 10 o'clock. come in. Those who miss it.
Too great when a woman find whatever she seeks. She swim the deepest sea and climb the highest peak. It's a certain climax you are reach. This is merciless, I got to practice what to preach. To the mercy, because I'm not play all the way from Paris. And not tell me how she prayed that Chuck Norris. She don't want a man to tumble back and kick my fist. Want a man that is romantic, well. I'm not play all the way from Rome. And not tell me such a free that Sylvester Stallone. She really want a man to make she moan and groan. Simone, no want a man to come and rock up her behind.
That's it. We're riding out tonight. The video is nearly 2 hours long, so I real work for it tonight. This mission is not for me. It's not for you. It's not for politics. It's for the future of this country. This mission is a rescue mission. This mission is to prove that Trinidadians and Tobagonians are capable of standing together in their own best interest. This mission is one people under one flag. This mission is the 99% saying that is our own. You can't sell it to your friends. This mission is we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, standing together, one people under one flag, and demanding proper representation, or we will do it. This is where we are. Friday morning, 19 Stanmore Avenue, 10 o'clock. Come out, come out, come out. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Trinidad and Tobago, it is up to us. If not us, who? If not now, when? Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.